In this video, we'll continue learning how to multiply polynomials, but we'll be focusing on what we do when we have more than two polynomials to multiply. So if you look on the screen, you'll notice that we have three polynomials being multiplied. We have a binomial here, a binomial here, and a trinomial here. And while this looks pretty complicated, it's actually very similar to when you multiply just two polynomials together. So if we think back on the order of operations, we know that we need to perform multiplication from left to right, which means we're going to start by multiplying these one at a time by moving from left to right. So I'm going to start with the x minus 4 times the x minus 5. Now we need to utilize big distribution here, so we take x times x and x times negative 5, and then the negative 4 times x and the negative 4 times the negative 5. Now if you want to write this out in a slightly different way, you can also write this as x times, you have x minus 5, and then you have the negative 4 times the x minus 5. Really, regardless of the strategy you pick, it doesn't matter. The goal is that you're taking everything in the first parenthesis and you're multiplying it by everything in the second. So regardless of which strategy you pick, you end up with x squared minus 5x minus 4x plus 20. And then we combined those like terms that we see together, and we end up with x squared minus 9x plus 20. So what we found is that first multiplication results in y equals, so now we have x squared minus 9x plus 20, and we're multiplying that by 2x squared plus 3x minus 6. You'll see that my problem has changed slightly, but we can still see, okay, we multiplied the first two together, and now we're going to multiply the product of those first two times that third polynomial. And so from here, it's the exact same process. We're taking everything in this first parenthesis set here, and we're multiplying it by everything in the second parenthesis. So we're going to take x squared, and we're going to multiply it by 2x squared plus 3x minus 6. And then we're going to take the negative 9x and multiply it by 2x squared plus 3x minus 6. And then we're going to take 20 and multiply it by 2x squared plus 3x minus 6. You can also use where we did x squared times 2x squared, x squared times 3x, x squared times 6 times negative 6, and repeat that with each term in the first parenthesis. It doesn't matter. I'm just writing it out with that line underneath because it allows me to visually see. I'm taking x squared and multiplying it by all three. I'm taking the negative 9 and multiplying it by all three in the second parenthesis, and the 20 and multiplying it by all three in the second parenthesis. So here, if I multiply these two together, I get 2x to the fourth plus 3x cubed minus 6x squared. Then I take the negative 9 and I multiply it by all three values here. So I end up with negative 18x cubed minus 27x squared plus 54x. And then we distribute that 20 as well, and we end up with 40x squared plus 60x minus 120. So we've multiplied everything out here, and now all that's left to do is combined like terms. So the first thing I look for is I notice that I have an x to the fourth, and I just have one of them, so that becomes 2x to the fourth. Then my next highest exponent is cubed, so I'm going to double underline the two that I see, and that positive 3 and negative 18 becomes a negative 15x cubed. I then see a couple of terms that contain x squared, so negative 6 and negative 27 become negative 33. Negative 33 plus 40 becomes a positive 7x squared. I then move on to the x's, so I'm going to underline those 4 times. Positive 54 and positive 60 become a positive 114x. And then finally, I'm just left with one constant term over here, and I subtract 20. Now I know that I need to write my answer in standard form, but if you're very purposeful, you're just going to write them in descending order anyways, from the x to the fourth, x to the third, x squared, x, and the constant. So once I multiply all of these out, I have my new product of y equals 2x to the fourth minus 15x cubed plus 7x squared plus 114x minus 120.